Now let's talk about how to implement any of these. See if there's any difficulties, any areas that we think might be hard to implement. So the board can be some kind of two-dimensional array. Maybe a list of lists is one possibility. And one thing I'm not quite clear on now is, do I need one board or two? It's clear I need one board to hold all the letters, but then there's also these bonus squares. Should that be part of the same board, or should that be a separate board? And the letters are layered on top of this background of bonus squares. I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm not too worried about it because I can make either approach work. A letter can be a one-character string, a word can be a string, a hand can also be a string. It could also be a list of letters. Either one would be fine, so any collection of letters would be okay. Note that a set would not work for the hand. The hand can't be a set of letters because we might have duplicates, and sets don't allow duplicates. Now, for the notion of a legal play, we'll have some function that generates legal plays, given a board position and a hand, and then the plays themselves will need some representation. Maybe they can be something like a tuple of, say, starting position. So, for example, Ritzy starts in this location. The direction in which they're going, are they going across or down, are the two allowable directions. The word itself, in this case, Ritzy. So that seems like a good representation for a legal play. I'm not quite sure yet what the representation of a position or a direction should be, but that's easy enough. A score will have some function to compute the score. For letters, we can have a dictionary that says the value of Z is 10. And for plays, we'll need some function to compute that. And for the bonus squares, we'll need some mapping from a position on the board to double word or triple letter or whatever. A dictionary is a set of words. The blank letter, well, we said letters were strings, so that's probably okay. We could use the string space or the string underbar to represent the blank, and then it's dealing with it that will be an issue later on. Now, I'm a little bit worried about blanks because in poker, jokers were easy. We just said replace them by any card and just deal with all the possibilities. And our routines are fast enough that we can probably deal with them all. Here, I'm pretty confident we can make it fast enough that that approach will work, but it doesn't quite work because not only do we have to try all possibilities for the letters, but the scoring rules are actually different. So when you use a blank instead of a letter, you don't get the letter scores for that blank. And so I'll have to have scoring know about blanks and not just know about filling things in. So that'll be a complication. But overall, I went through all the concepts. I've got an implementation for both. Some of them are functions that I don't quite know how to do, but I don't see anything that looks like a showstopper. So I think I can go ahead. And the difficulty then is not that I have to invent something new in order to solve one of the problems. The difficulty is just that there's so much. When faced with the problem of this size, or problems can be much longer, much larger, the notion of pacing is an important one. What do I mean by that? It means I want to attack this, and I know I'm not going to solve it all at once. I'm not just going to sit down for 20 minutes and knock out the whole problem. It's going to be a lot longer than that. So I want to have pacing in that I have sort of intermediate goals along the way where I can say, okay, now I'm going to focus on one part of the problem and I'm going to get that done. And then when I'm done with that part, then I can move on to the next part. If you don't have that pacing, you can lose your focus. You can get discouraged that there's so much left to do. But if you break it up into bite-sized pieces, then you can say, okay, I'm almost there. I just have to finish a little bit more, and now this piece will be done, and then I can move on to the next piece. So the first piece I'm going to look at is finding words from a hand. In other words, I'm going to ignore the whole board. I'm going to say, pretend the board isn't there, and pretend all we have is the hand, and we have the dictionary, a set of legal words, and I want to know, out of that hand, what words in the dictionary can I make?